Whispering Pines, Dakota Territory, 1873. Hannah Hayes stood in the doorway of her uncle's ranch house, staring at the letter that would ruin her. The banker's handwriting was neat, cold, final. $2,000 due by the end of summer, or the land would be sold at auction. She had inherited a failing spread, a mountain of debt, and exactly 0 options. The early summer heat shimmered off the high desert, making the horizon waver like a bad dream. Rattlers hid in the shadows. The work started before dawn and never ended. She folded the letter carefully, tucked it into her apron pocket, and walked back inside to face another day of laundry that barely paid for flour. The town of Whispering Pines sat 3 miles east, a collection of wooden buildings and dust, where neighbors feuded over water rights and stolen cattle. Sheriff Jasper Blackwood kept the peace, calm as a river, until someone pushed too far. Hannah had seen him twice, both times from a distance, tall and quiet with a reputation for fairness. She did not know him. She did not know anyone well enough to ask for help. That was about to change. 3 days later, Jasper rode out to the Hayes place because Old Man Tucker claimed Hannah had been watering her horses from his creek. Tucker was a liar and a drunk, but the law required Jasper to check. He found Hannah outside, scrubbing sheets in a huge iron tub, her sleeves rolled up and her face flushed from the heat. She looked up when his horse stopped, wariness flashing in her hazel eyes.
"Ma'am, I am Sheriff Blackwood. Got a complaint about water usage. Mind if I take a look at your property line?"
Hannah straightened, wiping her hands on her apron.
Tucker sent you. That creek runs through my land, Sheriff. Has since my uncle bought this place in '68. Tucker knows it. He is just trying to make trouble because I would not sell him my south pasture.
Jasper dismounted, looping his reins over the porch rail.
"I figured as much. Still have to check. You got the deed handy?"
Inside. Come on.
She led him into the dim coolness of the house, pulled a wooden box from under her bed, and handed him a folded paper. Jasper scanned it, nodded.
"Creek is yours. I will tell Tucker to quit bothering you."
Hannah hesitated, then pulled the banker's letter from her pocket.
Sheriff, you know anything about Langley Crowley over at the bank?
Jasper's expression did not change, but something shifted behind his gray eyes.
"Army contractor. Supplies fort provisions. Polite. Keeps his books clean. Why?"
He is calling in my uncle's loan. Says I owe $2,000 by August. I have been paying it down, but he claims my uncle signed a new note last year, higher interest. I never saw that paper before.
Jasper took the letter, read it slowly.
"This looks official. You got proof you have been paying?"
Receipts. Every month since January.
"Bring them to my office tomorrow. I will look into it."
Hannah nodded, relief flickering across her face. Jasper handed back the letter, tipped his hat, and left. He did not mention the unease crawling up his spine. Langley Crowley was patient, careful, and never raised his voice. Jasper had seen men like him before. They were the dangerous kind. The next morning, Hannah brought her receipts to town. Jasper spread them on his desk, compared dates and amounts. Everything matched until October of last year. Then a gap. No payments recorded for 3 months. Then a resumption in January with a note about a new agreement.
You make any payments between October and December?
My uncle died in October. I was in St. Louis settling his affairs. I came back in January and started paying again. Crowley said the account was current.
He lied. Or someone altered the records. I need to see the original loan documents at the bank.
Crowley will not let you.
He does not have a choice.
Jasper stood, buckled on his gun belt, and walked Hannah across the street to the bank. Langley Crowley sat behind a polished desk, a thin man with pale eyes and a calm smile.
Mr. Crowley, I need to see the loan records for the Hayes property.
Crowley's smile did not waver.
Sheriff, those are private financial documents. I cannot share them without cause. Miss Hayes disputes the terms. That is, cause.
Crowley folded his hands.
I assure you, everything is in order. The note was signed by her uncle last September. If she wishes to challenge it, she may hire a lawyer. Or I can get a judge to order you to produce it.
Crowley's smile thinned.
That would take time, Sheriff. Time Miss Hayes does not have. The deadline is firm.
Jasper held his gaze.
I will be back with that order.
Outside, Hannah stopped him.
He is not going to cooperate. And the nearest judge is in Deadwood, 3 days' ride. I do not have 3 days.
Then, we find another way.
That afternoon, Jasper sent a wire to the fort, asking about Crowley's contract history. The reply came back 2 hours later. Crowley had been investigated twice for short shipments, but never charged. The quartermaster noted discrepancies, but the paperwork always checked out. Jasper folded the telegram, thinking, a man who could fake Army supply records could fake a loan document. He needed proof. That night, someone set fire to Hannah's barn. She woke to the smell of smoke, ran outside barefoot, and watched the old structure collapse in a shower of sparks. Her horse escaped, but her winter hay was gone. She stood in her nightdress, shaking, as neighbors arrived with buckets. By dawn, only charred timbers remained. Jasper rode in at first light, dismounted, and walked the perimeter. He found boot prints, a broken lantern half buried in the dirt.
This was not an accident.
I know.
You got enemies besides Tucker?
Just Crowley. And he would not do this himself.
No. He would hire someone. Stay close to town for a few days. I do not want you out here alone.
Hannah shook her head.
I have work. Laundry does not wait.
Then, I will check on you twice a day.
He did. Morning and evening, Jasper rode out, watched her work, made sure no one came around. Hannah found his presence steadying. He did not talk much, but when he did, his voice was calm, certain. She started to trust him. On the third day, he brought her a newspaper from Deadwood. A wanted poster was folded inside. Jasper's face stared back at them, sketched in ink. The name underneath read Jacob Flint. Wanted for bank robbery in Kansas. $500 reward.
That is not you.
No. But it looks enough like me to cause trouble.
Who would do this?
Someone who wants me distracted. Or discredited.
Hannah met his eyes.
Crowley.
Maybe. Or someone working for him. If people start believing I am a wanted man, they will not trust anything I say about that loan.
Jasper folded the poster, slipped it into his coat.
I need to find Jacob Flint before someone tries to collect that reward on me.
Hannah insisted on helping. She knew the town, knew who talked and who kept secrets. Together, they visited the saloon, the general store, the livery. No one had seen a stranger matching Flint's description, but the bartender mentioned a man who had been asking about Jasper 2 weeks ago, claiming to be a cousin. The man had paid cash, stayed one night, and left before dawn. Jasper filed that away. Crowley had connections. He could have hired someone to plant the poster, spread the rumor. It was the kind of patient, careful move a spider would make. That evening, Jasper and Hannah sat on her porch, watching the sun drop behind the hill.
What will you do if someone tries to collect?
Prove I am not Flint, but that takes time, and time is what Crowley is buying.
Then, we go after him first. Find proof he forged that loan.
How?
His office. After dark. He keeps records. If he faked one document, there might be others.
That is breaking and entering.
It is my land, Sheriff. I have a right to know the truth.
Jasper studied her. She was scared, but she was not backing down. He liked that about her. Liked it more than he should.
If we do this, we do it smart. No mistakes.
Agreed.
2 nights later, they slipped into the bank through a back window. Jasper picked the lock on Crowley's office, and they searched by lantern light. Hannah found the loan file in a locked drawer. Jasper forced it open. Inside were 2 sets of documents. One showed the original loan, signed by her uncle in '68, nearly paid off. The other was a forgery, dated the previous September, with a forged signature and inflated terms.
He made a second loan that never existed.
And he is using it to steal your land. This is fraud.
Jasper tucked both documents into his coat. A noise outside froze them. Footsteps on the boardwalk, keys jingling. Crowley was coming back. Jasper grabbed Hannah's hand, pulled her toward the window. They slipped out, dropped into the alley, and ran. Behind them, a shout. Crowley had seen the open window. Jasper and Hannah did not stop until they reached the edge of town, breathing hard.
He knows.
Let him. We have the proof.
The next morning, Crowley came to the sheriff's office with 2 hired guns. Jasper met them at the door, hand on his revolver.
Mr. Crowley, something I can do for you?
Crowley's voice was soft, patient.
You broke into my bank, Sheriff. That is a crime. I retrieved stolen property. That is my job. You have no authority to seize private bank records. I have authority to investigate fraud. And I have 2 loan documents here that prove you forged Miss Hayes' debt.
Crowley's pale eyes did not blink.
You are mistaken. Those documents are legitimate. If you persist, I will have you removed from office. Try it.
The 2 gunmen shifted, hands drifting toward their holsters. Jasper did not move.
You boys want to draw on a sheriff in his own office. Go ahead. But you will be the ones bleeding.
Crowley raised a hand.
No need for violence. I will take this to the territorial judge. He will sort it out. You do that.
Crowley left, the gunman following. Jasper locked the door, exhaled. Hannah stepped out from the back room.
He is going to kill you.
Probably.
Then, we leave. Tonight. Take the documents to Deadwood. File charges.
If I run, he wins. The town will believe I am Jacob Flint. Your land gets auctioned. Crowley walks away clean.
If you stay, you die.
Not if I am faster.
Hannah grabbed his arm.
Jasper, listen to me. I do not care about the land. I care about you.
The words hung between them. Jasper looked down at her, saw the fear and the fierce protectiveness in her hazel eyes. Something in his chest shifted.
Hannah.
She kissed him. Quick, desperate, real. When she pulled back, her cheeks were flushed.
Do not argue. Just stay alive.
Jasper cupped her face, kissed her again, slower this time. When they broke apart, he was smiling.
Yes, ma'am.
That afternoon, a writer brought news. Jacob Flint had been caught in Cheyenne, arrested trying to rob a stagecoach. The real Flint was shorter, older with a crooked nose. Nothing like Jasper. The wanted poster had been a plant, designed to cause confusion and doubt. Jasper sent a wire to the marshal in Cheyenne, confirmed the arrest. The marshal wired back a description and a photograph. Jasper tacked it to the wall of his office. Proof. But Crowley was not done. That night, someone took a shot at Jasper through his window. The bullet missed, buried itself in the wall above his bed. Jasper rolled, grabbed his gun, and returned fire into the dark. He heard a horse gallop away. In the morning, he found the spent cartridge in the street. Military issue. The kind supplied to the fort. The kind Crowley handled. Hannah moved into the room above the general store, refusing to stay at the ranch alone. Jasper slept in his office, door barred, revolver under his pillow. The town felt tight, waiting for something to break. 3 days before the loan deadline, Crowley made his move. He arrived at the sheriff's office with a federal marshal from Rapid City, a man named Keller. Keller carried a warrant for Jasper's arrest, charging him with theft of bank property and obstruction of justice. Jasper read the warrant, handed it back.
This is garbage. Crowley forged those loan documents. I have proof.
Keller was unmoved.
That is for a judge to decide. You are coming with me. I am the elected sheriff of this county. You have no authority here. Federal warrant trumps local jurisdiction. Hand over your gun.
Jasper's jaw tightened. He could fight, but that would make him a fugitive. He unbuckled his gun belt, set it on the desk. Keller cuffed him. Hannah burst through the door, saw Jasper in irons, and went pale.
What are you doing?
Keller ignored her. Crowley smiled, patient and calm.
Justice. Miss Hayes. The sheriff overstepped. He will have a fair trial.
You lying snake. You paid for that warrant.
Careful. Slander is actionable.
Keller led Jasper outside. A crowd had gathered. People muttered, confused. Jasper caught Hannah's eye, held it.
Get word to Judge Harmon in Deadwood. Tell him everything.
She nodded, tears burning her eyes. Keller put Jasper on a horse, tied his hands to the saddle horn. They rode out of town, heading south. Hannah watched them disappear, then ran to the livery, saddled her horse, and rode hard for Deadwood. Judge Harmon listened to Hannah's story, read the forged documents, and issued an immediate order for Jasper's release. He also signed a warrant for Crowley's arrest on charges of fraud and attempted murder. Hannah rode back with the judge's deputy, pushing their horses to the limit. They reached the trail south of Whispering Pines at sunset and found Keller's camp. Jasper sat by the fire, still cuffed. Keller stood when the deputy dismounted, showed his badge.
Deputy Warren, Deadwood Circuit. I have an order from Judge Harmon for the release of Sheriff Blackwood and the arrest of Langley Crowley.
Keller read the order, scowled, but unlocked Jasper's cuffs. Jasper stood, rubbing his wrists, and took his gun belt back from Keller's saddlebag. He buckled it on, met Hannah's eyes across the fire. She was dusty, exhausted, and beautiful. He walked over, pulled her into his arms.
You rode to Deadwood, and back in a day?
You would have done it for me.
Yes, I would.
Deputy Warren cleared his throat.
We need to get back to town. Crowley might run.
Jasper nodded.
Let's go.
They rode through the night, reached Whispering Pines at dawn. The bank was locked, Crowley's office dark. Jasper kicked in the door. The office was empty. Papers littered the desk. A safe stood open. Empty. Crowley was gone. Hannah picked up a train schedule from the desk.
Eastbound leaves at noon. He is running.
Then we catch him, before he boards.
They rode to the depot. The eastbound train sat at the platform, steam hissing from the engine. Passengers milled on the platform with luggage. Jasper scanned the crowd, saw Crowley near the last car, boarding pass in hand, carrying a leather satchel. Jasper dismounted, started forward. Crowley saw him, turned, ran for the train. Jasper ran after him. Crowley reached the steps, climbed. Jasper grabbed his coat, yanked him back. Crowley swung the satchel, caught Jasper across the temple. Jasper staggered. Crowley pulled a Derringer from his pocket. Hannah screamed.
Jasper!
Jasper drew, fired. The Derringer flew from Crowley's hand. Crowley stumbled back against the train car, clutching his wrist. Deputy Warren ran up with iron cuffs. Jasper holstered his gun, wiped blood from his temple.
Langley Crowley, you are under arrest for fraud, forgery, embezzlement, and conspiracy to commit murder.
Warren cuffed Crowley, dragged him off the platform. The crowd watched in silence. The train whistle blew. Hannah walked over, touched Jasper's face where the satchel had split the skin.
You are bleeding.
I have had worse.
That does not mean I like seeing it.
He caught her hand, held it against his cheek.
Thank you for saving me. Again.
We are even now.
I do not think we will ever be even. I owe you more than I can say.
She smiled, tired and relieved.
Then, you can start paying me back by helping me run the ranch. I still have no idea what I am doing.
I can do that. If you will have me.
Are you asking to work for me, Sheriff?
I am asking to be with you, in whatever way you will let me.
She looked at him, and the exhaustion and fear melted into something warm and certain.
Then stay. Help me build something good, something honest.
Yes.
The town council met that evening. Judge Harmon had sent word that all debts secured by Crowley's forged paperwork were void. The bank would reopen under federal supervision. Hannah's ranch was safe. The Hayes family land would stay in her hands. Jasper resigned as sheriff. He had served Whispering Pines for 6 years. kept the peace through drought and range wars and claim jumpers. But he was tired. He wanted a different life. The council tried to talk him out of it, but he was firm. He shook hands, turned in his badge, walked out into the evening air. Hannah waited by the horses. They rode back to the ranch together in the last light of day. Over the next weeks, Jasper learned the rhythms of ranch work. He mended fences, broke horses, hauled water, repaired the barn roof. Hannah taught him how to read the brands, how to spot a lame steer, how to keep the books. They worked from dawn to dusk, ate simple meals at the long table in the kitchen, fell into bed exhausted. It was hard, honest work, and Jasper found he loved it. He loved the quiet mornings, the smell of hay and leather, the satisfaction of a fence line straight and strong. Most of all, he loved watching Hannah come into her own. She was no longer the uncertain woman who had arrived in spring. She was confident, decisive, fair with the hands, sharp with the numbers. She had found her place. One evening in late June, they stood on the porch watching the sun go down. The air was warm, the light golden. Hannah leaned against the railing, tired but content.
I never thought I would say this, but I think we might actually make it.
We will make it. You are too stubborn to fail.
I learned from the best.
He smiled, moved closer.
I have been thinking
About what?
about staying. Not just for the season, permanently.
She turned to look at him, her expression careful.
What are you saying?
I am saying I want to build a life here. With you. If you will have me.
Her breath caught. She searched his face, saw nothing but sincerity and quiet hope.
Are you sure? This is not the life you had before.
No. It is better.
She smiled, and it was the first time he had seen her truly, completely happy.
Then stay. Make this home.
Yes.
He kissed her then, slow and sure, and she kissed him back. The sun dipped below the ridge, leaving the sky streaked with gold and rose. Somewhere in the distance, a coyote called. The wind moved through the pines. It was a good sound, a sound of home. The summer passed in hard work and quiet happiness. They hired 2 more hands, expanded the herd, repaired the irrigation system. By August, the ranch was profitable. Hannah paid off the remaining legitimate debts, set aside money for winter feed. Jasper built a new corral and a chicken coop. They planted a garden behind the house, and Hannah learned to bake bread in the old iron stove. It was a simple life, but it was theirs. In September, the circuit preacher came through Whispering Pines. Jasper rode into town, came back with a question. They stood in the barn at dusk, the horses quiet in their stalls.
The preacher will be here until Sunday. I was thinking, if you were willing, we could make this official.
Hannah looked up from the saddle she was oiling.
Are you asking me to marry you?
Yes.
That is the least romantic proposal I have ever heard.
I am not good with words.
You are good with actions. That is enough.
She set down the saddle, walked over, took his hands.
Yes, I will marry you.
He pulled her close, kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her mouth. She laughed, breathless and happy. They were married that Sunday in the small church in town. Hannah wore a simple dress, pale blue, with a white shawl. Jasper wore his best shirt, dark vest, clean hat. The preacher spoke the words, and they said their vows. The town turned out to witness it. There was no grand reception, no dancing. Just a quiet meal at the hotel with friends. Afterward, they rode back to the ranch under the stars. The night was cool, the air sharp with the promise of autumn. They unsaddled the horses, closed up the barn, walked to the house. Inside, the fire was low, the room warm. Hannah lit a lamp, turned to face him.
So now, you are stuck with me.
I can think of worse fates.
She smiled, moved into his arms. He held her, feeling the steady beat of her heart, the warmth of her against him. This was home. This was family. This was everything he had never known he wanted. October brought the first frost. The leaves on the cottonwoods turned gold, and the mornings were cold enough to see your breath. Jasper and Hannah worked together to prepare for winter, stacking hay in the barn, salting meat, checking the roof for leaks. The hands moved the herd to lower pasture, closer to shelter. One afternoon, a rider came up the road fast. It was Deputy Warren from town. He dismounted, breathing hard.
Deputy, what is wrong? Crowley escaped. 3 days ago, overpowered a guard on the way to territorial prison, killed him, took his horse and gun.
Jasper felt the old coldness settle over him. Hannah stepped closer, her hand on his arm.
Do they know where he is?
Tracker says he is heading this way. He has nothing left to lose. Judge thinks he might come for you, Sheriff, or for Miss Hayes, for revenge.
Jasper looked at Hannah, saw the fear in her eyes, but also the resolve.
We will be ready. Thank you, Deputy.
Warren nodded, mounted, rode back toward town. Jasper sent the hands into Whispering Pines for safety, told them to stay until word came that Crowley was caught or dead. Then, he and Hannah locked the house, loaded rifles, waited. Night fell. They sat by the fire, weapons close. The hours passed in tense silence. Near midnight, the dogs started barking. Jasper stood, moved to the window. A shadow moved near the barn. He turned to Hannah.
Stay inside. Lock the door behind me.
No. We face this together.
Hannah, please.
No. You do not get to protect me by dying. We do this together, or not at all.
He looked at her, saw the steel in her eyes, and knew she would not back down. He nodded.
Stay behind me. If shooting starts, get to cover.
They moved to the door. Jasper opened it slowly, rifle ready. The yard was dark, the moon hidden by clouds. The barn door stood open. Jasper stepped onto the porch, Hannah behind him. A voice called from the darkness.
Blackwood, you took everything from me. My money, my reputation, my freedom. Now I take everything from you.
Jasper scanned the shadows, saw movement near the corral.
Crowley, you did this to yourself. Turn yourself in. Do not make this worse. Worse? There is nothing left to lose. I am a dead man either way, but I will see you dead first.
A gunshot cracked the night. The bullet splintered the porch post inches from Jasper's head. He fired back, aiming for the muzzle flash. Hannah dropped to one knee, raised her rifle, fired. The shot echoed across the yard. A cry of pain. Then silence. Jasper waited, listening. Footsteps running toward the barn. He ran after them, Hannah following. They reached the barn, pushed inside. Crowley was there, bleeding from the shoulder, raising his pistol. Jasper fired. Crowley fell. The pistol clattered to the floor. Jasper kicked it away, knelt, checked for a pulse. Crowley was alive, but barely. His eyes found Jasper's, filled with hate and fading light.
You should have let me go. No. You made your choices. Now you live with them. Or die with them.
Crowley coughed, blood on his lips, and then he was gone. Jasper stood, turned to Hannah. She was pale, shaking, but unhurt. He pulled her into his arms, held her tight.
It is over. He is gone.
She nodded against his chest, breathing hard. The fear drained away, leaving exhaustion and relief. They walked back to the house, sent word to town. Deputy Warren came at dawn with the undertaker. Crowley's body was taken away. The nightmare was truly over. The days that followed were quiet. The hands returned. Life on the ranch resumed. But something had changed. The danger was gone, truly gone. And in its place was peace. Hannah and Jasper worked side by side, building their future one day at a time. November came, cold and clear. One morning, Hannah woke feeling ill. She did not say anything, but Jasper noticed. He always noticed. Over the next weeks, the sickness came in waves, always in the morning. She grew tired easily, needed more rest. Jasper worried, but Hannah smiled and told him it was nothing. Then one evening in late November, she told him. They were sitting by the fire after supper, the wind howling outside. She took his hand, placed it on her stomach.
We are going to have a baby. In the spring.
He stared at her, stunned. Then a slow smile spread across his face. He pulled her close, kissed her hair, her cheeks, her lips.
A baby.
Yes. Are you happy?
Happy does not cover it. I am terrified and thrilled and grateful. All at once.
Good. Because I feel exactly the same.
They sat together in the firelight, his hand on her stomach, her head on his shoulder. Outside, the wind howled and the snow began to fall. But inside, it was warm and safe. They had survived lies and danger and violence. They had fought for their land and their freedom and their love. And now, they would build a family. A real family, rooted in this wild, hard, beautiful place. The future stretched ahead, uncertain and full of promise. But they would face it together, just as they had faced everything else. Together. December brought deep snow and long nights. The ranch settled into winter rhythms. The cattle huddled near the windbreaks. The horses stayed in the barn. Jasper and Hannah spent the evenings by the fire, planning for the baby, talking about names and cradles and the future. They were happy in a way neither had ever imagined possible. One afternoon in mid-December, Jasper rode into town for supplies. When he returned, he carried a package wrapped in brown paper. He handed it to Hannah.
I saw this and thought of you.
She unwrapped it carefully. Inside was a small wooden carving of a horse, smooth and beautifully made. She looked up at him, eyes bright.
Did you make this?
Yes. In the evenings, while you were resting. I wanted to give the baby something that came from us. From this place.
She touched the carving, running her fingers over the curves.
It is perfect. Thank you.
He pulled her close, held her, feeling the new life growing between them. This was home. This was family. This was everything. On Christmas Eve, the snow stopped and the sky cleared. Stars blazed overhead, bright and cold. Jasper and Hannah stood on the porch, wrapped in blankets, looking out over the white expanse of the ranch. The silence was deep and perfect.
I never thought I would end up here, running a ranch in the middle of nowhere, married to a former sheriff, waiting for a baby. But I would not change a single thing.
Neither would I.
She leaned against him, and he wrapped his arms around her, sheltering her from the cold. In the distance, a wolf howled. The wind whispered through the pines. And in that moment, everything was exactly as it should be. She rode to Deadwood, and back in one day, to save the sheriff from a hanging. Whispering Pines, Dakota Territory, 1873. Hannah Hayes inherits a failing ranch and a mountain of debt, only to discover the paperwork is forged by a crooked banker. When Sheriff Jasper Blackwood is framed for a crime he did not commit, Hannah races against time to clear his name. Together, they face corruption, danger, and a deadly confrontation that will determine their future. A story of resilience, justice, and love forged in the wild heart of the American West. Subscribe for more authentic Wild West stories of courage and romance. Wild West Romance. Historical Western story. 1870s Dakota Territory. Cowboy sheriff. Ranch inheritance. Corrupt banker. False accusation. Redemption arc. Frontier justice. Strong female lead. Homesteading. Survival story. Old West adventure. Train depot showdown. Happy ending romance. Western narration. True. A love story. Historical fiction. American frontier. Wilderness survival. Colorized late 1800s American West photograph. Natural light. Gentle contrast. Slightly soft focus. Subtle film grain. Faint dust/scratches. Slight vignetting. No text. No watermark. Maintaining exact character consistency. Stunning beautiful woman in her late 20s, with chestnut brown hair and a loose bun with wisps framing her face. Bright hazel eyes. Delicate features. Slender athletic build. Wearing a dusty cream blouse with rolled sleeves and dark green split riding skirt. Brown Leith, her boots. Fierce, determined expression with tears streaking through the dust on her cheeks. Gripping the reins of a lathered, exhausted horse. Ruggedly handsome man in his mid-30s with dark brown hair. Piercing gray eyes. Strong jaw with a slight scar on his left cheekbone. Tall, broad-shouldered build. Weary, a tan cowboy hat. Dark brown duster coat. Burgundy shirt. Dark denim pants. Silver star badge on his chest. Intense, grateful expression, reaching up toward her from the ground with his hands still cuffed. They are on a dusty trail at sunset. She has just arrived on horseback after riding all day and night. He is surrounded by two other men, in rough frontier clothing holding rifles. A deputy in a dark coat stands nearby holding an official document. Golden hour light washing over the scene with long, dramatic shadows. Sagebrush and scattered rocks in foreground. Distant ridge of pine trees in background. Dust kicked up by the horse's hooves still hanging in the air. Her horse's head lowered in exhaustion with foam on its neck. His expression shows relief and awe at her arrival. Warm beige and amber color grading with darker shadowed tones. Photorealistic cinematic style. Shot on cinema camera. Natural golden hour lighting. Shallow depth of field with soft bokeh background. Warm beige and amber color grading. Looks like a film still from a premium Western romance movie. Authentic 1800s period photography the door. Soft morning light behind the M. Turned back.
Hannah.
She stopped. Faced him. He crossed the platform in 3 strides, cupped her face in his hands, and kissed her. It was slow, deep, and certain. When they broke apart, she was smiling, eyes bright.
About time, Sheriff.
I am a patient man, Miss Hayes. But not that patient.
She laughed, leaned into him. The train whistle blew again, longer this time, the engine building steam. They stood together on the platform, her head on his shoulder, his arm around her waist. The sun climbed higher, warming the planks under their boots. Whispering pines woke around them, the general store opening. The saloon sweeping its porch, children running toward the schoolhouse. Hannah's laundry was safe. The ranch debts were cleared. Crowley was on his way to trial. Jasper's name was clean. And they had each other, finally, without secrets or fear. He kissed the top of her head.
Come on. Let's go home.
Which home?
Yours. Mine. Does not matter anymore. We will figure it out together.
She smiled, laced her fingers through his, and they walked off the platform into the morning, leaving the train and the past behind. They walked down the main street, hands linked, boots scuffing the dust. The town watched, some nodding, some grinning. Word had already spread about Crowley's arrest and Jasper's exoneration. By noon, every soul in Whispering Pines would know the story. Hannah glanced at Jasper, saw the tension finally gone from his shoulders, the easy set of his jaw. He caught her looking, raised an eyebrow.
What?
Just thinking. A week ago, I was scrubbing sheets and dodging debt collectors. Now I own a ranch, and I am walking down the street with the handsomest man in Dakota Territory.
Handsomest. Huh?
Do not let it go to your head, Sheriff.
He laughed. A real laugh, warm and unguarded. They reached the laundry, and Hannah paused at the door. The sign still hung crooked. The windows still needed washing. But it was hers, free and clear. She looked up at Jasper.
I need to check the place, make sure everything is still standing. Then, maybe we ride out to the ranch, see what kind of mess Uncle left me.
I will come with you. We can take inventory, figure out what needs fixing first.
We?
If you want the help.
She smiled, squeezed his hand.
I want the help.
They stepped inside together, and the morning light followed them through the door. Inside the laundry, the air smelled of lye and starch. Hannah moved through the familiar space, checking the boilers, the drying racks, the shelves of folded linens waiting for pickup. Everything was in order. Jasper leaned against the doorframe, watching her work, a small smile playing at the corner of his mouth. She caught him staring again.
What now?
Just thinking how different things look today than they did yesterday.
Different good? Or different complicated?
Good. Definitely good.
She crossed to him, stood close. He straightened, slipped his arms around her waist. The badge on his chest pressed cool against her collar. She looked up into those gray eyes that had seen too much hardship and still held kindness.
So what happens next, Sheriff? You go back to keeping the peace. I go back to washing shirts. And we pretend this week never happened?
No. We build something better. Together. You run your ranch. I keep the town safe. And when the day ends, we come home to each other. Simple as that.
Nothing about us has been simple.
Maybe that is why it works.
She rose on her toes, kissed him again, softer this time, unhurried. Outside, the town carried on. Horses passed, wagon wheels creaked, voices called greetings. But in the laundry, time slowed. When they finally pulled apart, Hannah rested her forehead against his.
I love you, Jasper Blackwood.
I love you too. Hannah Hayes.
And in that moment, standing in the dusty laundry, with the Dakota sun streaming through the windows, they knew they had found home.